lady back there. This is one, a lamb service that might be a little bit too old for her anyway. And she always does so well, but this, I determined that this was for everybody today anyway, in kind of the spirit of Christmas. This is a jewelry box. And Barbara said that she used to have one like this, and I suspect that they may have been very popular back in the 40s, 50s, and so forth. This was my mother's, still is. This belonged to my mother, Elizabeth Bain. And it's just a beautiful black lacquer box that has inlaid shale of different colors on it. It's decorated what I would call in a Japanese or an Oriental fashion, because there are pagodas and Japanese type strokes. It is reminiscent inside and out of perhaps someone from the Orient. It has a mirror in the top. It's empty right now, but it has a compartment here, and with some drawers or doors that open. There's only one piece of jewelry in it. It is a small bracelet charm. It's been engraved on the front. It says Elizabeth, and on the back, Walton, my dad and mom. And since Elizabeth is on the front, I suspect maybe my dad may have given this to her a long time ago. They parted ways in 1975, but they were married for about 25, 26 years. There are still photographs and remnants and memories of them. He married Helen Mayfield Legg, and mother never remarried. Probably more about my family than you need to know, I guess. I'm reminiscing. I might ramble on. I don't know when my mother got this, but I remember it all of my life. I suspect she had this before I was born in 1956. I don't know if my dad gave it to her. I don't know if it's a Christmas present. She may have bought it for herself. I wish, and if she were here, she was very sharp and alert up to the day that she passed. And if I had thought to ask her, maybe I did and I've forgotten it, but she would have told me where she got this and how it came into her possession. But I remember when I was a little boy that I would go into their bedroom. I wasn't really forbidden to go in their bedroom, but I knew that wasn't really where it was intended for me to go and snoop around or play or things like that, which made it all that more enticing to go there and snoop around and play. And I remember this box was always central to a chest of drawers or a dresser or something. It's very beautiful. It used to shine with greater luster than it does now. But I would go in there and I would take this box and place it in the center of the bed, out on the spread, the bedspread. And I would open the lid very carefully, and there was something about, for a little boy, a kind of a reverence at dealing with this. And I would open up all the doors, and it would be filled with jewelry. Bracelets, earrings, rings, necklaces, every different kind of female adornment. And now it wasn't the crown jewels or anything like that. Probably was not of great monetary worth. But my mom bought them, not because they were expensive, or because at that time that they were even an investment that she might be making. But she liked them. They were pretty to her, and she thought that it would make her look attractive. And so I remembered I would go through those, and I wouldn't just dump this out. I would take each piece and look at it, one piece until everything was out, laid out in its place on the bedspread, take it out, and I'd turn it over and look at it. And I have spent many, many hours as a little boy doing that. I don't know how many times I did that. Sometimes the jewelry changed, and I always was looking for a particular piece. I could recognize them, and I could tell when Mother was wearing them. She'd wear them to church, or she would go out places, and I could see that she had been in the jewelry box, and she was wearing a piece with which I was familiar. And then, from time to time, my dad would help me buy my mom a piece of jewelry, and it would wind up in this box, which I thought was a tremendous honor. And I would look in there and I would find it there. That's what I got for Mom right there. I bought that for her. I haven't told you the best part. This is a music box. And there's a switch on the bottom right there. It's a wind, I guess you'd call it, crank. And I wouldn't wind it all, but when I wanted to hear, I'd go there and I found out, my mother showed me how you could crank this up, and you would wind up a spring. It was like a clockwork. I'd wind it several times. And then when you open it, there's a spindle in here that has little tiny prongs attached to it. It turns around because you found that. And it has a comb attached to it, little tines that are a particular tune. Turn this microphone up there, Carl. Let's see if everybody recognizes this tune. I don't know if you could hear that or not. That piece of music was discovered in 1867. It was on a sheet of music that had been autographed by the composer, but he wrote the melody, and nobody had ever seen this. He died in 1827 in Germany. His name was Ludwig von Beethoven. And it's called Bagatelle Number 25 in A minor. That's really romantic. It gets me right here. Bagatelle. Sounds like a beignet you might eat down in New Orleans. Bagatelle Number 25 in A minor. It was signed by Beethoven, and he died in 1827. For 40 years, nobody had ever heard this song when he wrote it in 1810. They'd never heard of it. He'd never played it. It never appeared in any of his collected works. And they all, of course, great composers of that era, named their pieces according to the kind of music that it was, or what it was, kind of music it was reminiscent of. But there was an unusual thing about this song, that at the very bottom of it, the song was dedicated to someone who was he only dedicated the first name. Her name was Elise. And so in German, this song came to be known popularly when it was released by a man named Ludwig Noll. He found a collection, a hidden collection, a forgotten collection of Beethoven's compositions. And he found Bagatelle 25 there. And it has come to be known by us. And it is, strangely enough, one of Beethoven's most popular tunes. More people know this song by Beethoven than they even know his Fifth Symphony. For Elise. Yeah. For Elise. I remember the music director at my church where I served in Vandale, Arkansas. The little girl who played our piano, she and her husband moved away. So for a whole year we didn't have a pianist. And several people in our church began to take piano lessons. And our music director took piano lessons too. Took lessons from Cindy Massey. She was one of our pastor's wife, Bob Massey's wife. They lived in the same association. But one of the first songs he learned to successfully and beautifully play was for Elise. I can still hear him playing it. Christmas for me is about remembering. You ask a child and they say, well, I like the presents. You ask an adult, he might say, I really like the food. I like Christmas food. There are things we only eat at Christmas time. But I think as we get older and older, we'll live off the memories of days like Christmas. Getting ready for Christmas, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I hope that you have many wonderful memories. I can promise you this, I do believe that this is a good promise. Your memories will one day be more valuable to you and more treasured than any gift you've ever received. And you'll get them out and you'll spread them out on the bedspread and you'll turn them over and you'll remember them and you'll think not just so much of the memory itself or a thing or a gift or a time, but your memories will be about people. It'll be about people. I hope your life already has been filled with memorable people. And we have good people and bad people, all different kinds of people fill our lives. One day those will be your treasured memories. Christians believe that one day when we end this life, the most glorious thing is that we'll see the people whom we love again. We'll be with them. Don't know everything that that's about. But I'm going to tell my mom, Mama, I took good care of your jewelry box. She'll say, baby, I don't care. That's all right. That's all right. Well, I trust that you're already having, maybe some of our folks who are sick, it will be a memorable Christmas. Remember that Christmas we all went to the doctor? I remember that. Well, I hope that your memories keep your heart warm and they cause you to rejoice and to thank God for your life. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me share that. I hope it did not bore you, but that's part of